The world knows Elon Musk as the genius behind Tesla and SpaceX, the man who wants to save humanity. But his ex-wife Justine has kept a devastating secret for 15 years. A secret about what really happened when Elon was just 16 years old. A secret that explains everything about why he works so hard, why he's so driven, why he can never seem to rest. Today, for the first time, Justine is ready to tell the truth. What she reveals will shock the world. It will change how everyone sees the richest man on Earth. And it all started with a promise made to a dying man in a mine shaft in Africa. This is that story. Justine Musk sat alone in her small Los Angeles apartment. The morning sun came through her window, but she didn't notice. Her eyes were red from crying. On the table in front of her sat her phone. The screen showed the news that was everywhere today. Elon Musk, now world's richest man again. The numbers were huge. More money than anyone could count. She picked up her coffee cup. Her hands shook. The cup rattled against the table when she set it down. 15 years. That's how long she had kept the secret. Justine looked at the old photo on her desk. It showed her and Elon on their wedding day in 2000. They looked so young, so happy. Elon's smile was real then, not the fake smile he wore for cameras now. Back then, he told her everything, even the things that scared him, even the things that made him cry in the middle of the night. But there was one thing, one terrible thing from when he was just 16 years old, something that happened in South Africa, at his father's emerald mine in Zambia. Justine had promised to keep it secret. She had promised to take it to her grave. But promises can break, just like hearts. Her phone buzzed. A text from her daughter Vivian. "Mom, did you see the news about Dad? Everyone's calling him a hero again. If only they knew the truth." Vivian was 20 now. She had changed her last name from Musk to Wilson. She wanted nothing to do with her father. The whole world thought it was because Elon didn't accept her being transgender. But Justine knew the real reason. Last year, Vivian had found some old papers in Elon's desk. Papers he thought were destroyed long ago. Papers that told the truth about what happened at the mine. Vivian had brought them to her mother, crying. "How could he do this, Mom? How could he help cover up what Grandpa Errol did?" That night, Justine had told Vivian everything about the mine accident, about the workers who died, about how young Elon had helped his father hide the truth. "But Mom," Vivian had said, "if people knew, maybe they could finally get justice. Maybe the families of those workers could finally know what really happened to their fathers and brothers." Justine had said no. She had made a promise. Even if Elon had hurt her during their divorce, she wouldn't break that promise. But now things were different. Yesterday, she got a phone call. A man with a thick South African accent. "Mrs. Musk? My name is David Mokana. I think we need to talk." David Mokana. Justine knew that name. She had seen it on the papers Elon used to keep in his safe. The son of Joseph Mokana, one of the miners who died in the cave-in. "I know what happened at my father's mine," David had said. "I know what your ex-husband did to help cover it up. And I know he's been paying my medical bills for 20 years without telling me who he really is." Justine's blood had gone cold. "I'm flying to America next week," David continued. "I'm going to Austin to see Mr. Musk. He can tell the world the truth himself, or I will tell it for him." After David hung up, Justine couldn't sleep. She thought about Joseph Mokana, the miner who died. She thought about his son David, who had been hurt in the same accident. She thought about all the families who never knew what really happened to their loved ones. And she thought about Elon, the man she had once loved, the father of her children. He was sick with guilt. She could see it every time he was on TV. The way his hands shook when reporters asked about his childhood. The way he changed the subject when anyone mentioned South Africa. He had built rockets to go to Mars. He had made electric cars to save the planet. He said he wanted to help humanity. But it was all because of one promise he made to a dying man when he was just 16. Justine stood up and walked to her bedroom closet. She moved some boxes and found what she was looking for. A small metal box with a key taped to the bottom. Inside was a single piece of paper, yellow with age, written in Elon's teenage handwriting. At the top it said what really happened at the mine, the truth I can never tell. Below that were 3 pages of Elon's confession. Everything he had done, every lie he had helped tell, every document he had helped change to protect his father. At the bottom, in his shaky 16-year-old writing, "If I die, someone needs to know the truth." Someone needs to make sure the families get justice. I'm too scared to do it now, but maybe someday I'll be brave enough. Justine had carried this secret for so long. It had poisoned her marriage. It had hurt her children. It had turned the man she loved into someone cold and afraid. But David Mokena deserved to know the truth about his father. The other families deserved justice. And maybe, just maybe, telling the truth would finally set Elon free. She picked up her phone and found the number she had saved last month. Sarah Chen, reporter for the Los Angeles Times. Sarah had called asking about her marriage to Elon. Justine had said no comment. But Sarah had been kind. She had left her card. Justine's finger hovered over the call button. Once she made this call, there would be no going back. The secret that had shaped everything about Elon's life would finally come out. It would hurt him. It might destroy everything he had built. But keeping it secret was hurting everyone else. She pressed call. The phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Hello, this is Sarah Chen. Sarah, this is Justine Musk, Elon's ex-wife. Her voice was shaky but clear. I need to tell you something about Elon Musk, something the world needs to know. Mrs. Musk, are you okay? You sound upset. Justine looked at the confession in her hands, at the photo of her and Elon on their wedding day, at the news on her phone about him being the richest man in the world. What I'm about to tell you, she said, tears running down her face, it will change how everyone sees him forever. There was silence on the other end of the line. Can you meet me today? Justine asked. I have documents, I have proof, and I have a story that started 27 years ago in a mine in Zambia. I'll be right over, Sarah said. Justine hung up the phone. She sat back down at her kitchen table. The secret that had lived in her heart for 15 years was finally going to come out. She wasn't sure if she was making the right choice, but she knew she couldn't keep living with the weight of it anymore. Outside, Los Angeles was waking up to another sunny day. People were reading the news about Elon Musk becoming the world's richest man again. They saw him as a hero, a genius, the man who would save humanity. In a few hours, they would know the truth, and everything would change forever. Toronto, Canada, September 1994. Justine Wilson hurried across the Queen's University campus. Her backpack was heavy with books. She was late for her English class again. The fall leaves crunched under her feet. Toronto was beautiful in September. She loved being a student here. She wanted to be a writer someday. She dreamed of writing books that would make people think and feel. As she rushed toward the building, someone called her name. Justine, wait up. She turned around. A tall, thin boy was running after her. He had messy brown hair and was carrying a heavy computer bag. Do I know you? She asked. Elon, he said, breathing hard. Elon Musk. We're in Professor Brown's physics class together. Justine remembered him now. He sat in the back row. He never talked much, but when he did, he said smart things, strange things, things about the future. Oh, right. Hi, she said. She started walking again. I'm really late for class. Me too, Elon said, walking beside her. But I wanted to ask you something. What? Elon stopped walking. Would you like to get coffee with me? Today, after classes? Justine looked at him. He seemed nervous. His hands were shaking a little, but his eyes were bright and kind. Why? She asked. Because you asked a really good question in physics class yesterday about how energy moves through space. Most people don't think about things like that. Justine smiled. Okay, coffee sounds nice. Great. Elon's whole face lit up. There's a place called Tim Hortons near the library. Meet me there at 4? Sure, Justine said. But I really have to go now. She watched him walk away. There was something different about him. Most boys their age talked about sports or parties, but Elon seemed to think about bigger things. Tim Hortons, 4:15 p.m. Justine found Elon at a corner table. He had 2 cups of coffee waiting and a notebook covered in drawings. Sorry I'm late, she said, sitting down. No problem. I was just working on some ideas. Justine looked at his notebook. It was full of sketches. Rockets, cars, strange machines she didn't recognize. What are those? She asked. Elon's cheeks turned red. Just some crazy stuff I think about. You probably think I'm weird. No, Justine said. Tell me about them. Elon looked surprised. Really? Really? He turned the notebook so she could see better. This one is an electric car, but not like the golf carts they have now. A real car, fast and beautiful, that people would actually want to drive. Why electric? Because gas engines hurt the Earth. If we keep burning oil, we're going to destroy our planet. Justine nodded. That makes sense. What about this one? She pointed to a drawing of a rocket. That's harder to explain, Elon said. But I think humans need to live on other planets, like Mars. Mars. Justine laughed. Why would anyone want to live on Mars? Because Earth won't be safe forever. There could be an asteroid, or a nuclear war, or climate change could make it too hot to live here. Elon's voice got excited as he talked. If we have people living on Mars, then humans will survive even if something bad happens to Earth. And you think you can build rockets to get there? Maybe not me personally, but someone has to try. And if not me, then who? Justine sipped her coffee. Most boys talked about themselves, about what they wanted. But Elon talked about saving humanity. It was crazy, but it was also kind of beautiful. What about you? Elon asked. What do you want to do? I want to write books, Justine said. Stories that help people understand each other better. That's important too, Elon said. Stories change how people think. They can make the world better. They talked for 2 hours about books and science, about dreams and fears, about what they wanted their lives to mean. As the sun started to set, Elon walked Justine back to her dorm. Can I ask you something personal? Justine said. Sure. Where are you from? You have a strange accent. Elon's smile disappeared. South Africa. That must have been interesting, growing up there. Not really, Elon said quietly. I couldn't wait to leave. Why? Elon stopped walking. For a moment he looked like a little boy, scared and sad. My father, he said finally. He's not a good man. He did terrible things, and I couldn't stop him. What kind of things? Elon shook his head. I can't talk about it. Not yet. Maybe never. Justine wanted to ask more questions, but something in Elon's voice told her to wait. It's okay, she said. We all have things we don't want to talk about. Elon looked at her with grateful eyes. Thank you for understanding. They reached her dorm building. Can I see you again? Elon asked. I'd like that, Justine said. As she watched him walk away, Justine wondered what secrets Elon was carrying. What had happened in South Africa that made him so sad? She didn't know it then, but those secrets would change both their lives forever. 6 months later, March 1995, Elon and Justine were dating now. They spent most of their free time together. Elon was building his first computer program, something about helping people find businesses online. It's going to change everything, he told Justine. Someday, everyone will use the internet to find what they need. Justine loved listening to Elon's ideas, even when they sounded impossible. One night they were studying in the library. It was late and quiet. Most students had gone home. Elon looked up from his computer. Justine? Yeah? I think I'm falling in love with you. Justine felt her heart skip. I think I'm falling in love with you too. Elon smiled. But then his face got serious again. There's something I need to tell you about my family, about why I left South Africa. Justine closed her book. Okay. My father owns part of an emerald mine in Zambia. He made a lot of money from it. But the way he made that money, Elon's hands started to shake. What happened? Justine asked softly. People got hurt, workers at the mine. And when they got hurt, my father didn't help them. He just covered it up. That's awful. It gets worse, Elon said. When I was 16, there was an accident, a big one. People died. Elon's voice was barely a whisper now. And I helped him hide it. Justine reached across the table and took his hand. You were just a kid. That's what I tell myself. But I knew it was wrong, and I did it anyway. What exactly did you do? Elon looked around to make sure no one could hear them. I was good with computers, even back then. My father asked me to change some files, delete some records, make it look like the accident happened differently. Why? So the government wouldn't investigate, so the families of the dead workers wouldn't know the truth. Elon started crying, right there in the library. I've never told anyone this before, he said, but I can't keep it inside anymore. It's eating me alive. Justine moved her chair next to his. She put her arms around him. That's why I work so hard, Elon said. That's why I want to build rockets and electric cars. I'm trying to make up for what I did. I'm trying to save more lives than I helped destroy. One day, Justine said, you're going to have to tell the truth about what happened. I can't, Elon said. It would destroy too many people. My mother, my brother, and the family still don't know the real truth. If they found out now after all these years, he shook his head. Promise me. You'll never tell anyone, he said. Promise me you'll take this secret to your grave. Justine looked into his eyes. She saw the scared 16-year-old boy who had made a terrible mistake. She saw the man who was trying to spend his whole life making up for it. I promise, she said. She meant it then. She really did. But promises made in love are sometimes the hardest ones to keep. Napa Valley, California, January 2000. The wedding was small but perfect. 50 guests sat in white chairs under the California sun. Grapevines stretched across the rolling hills. Everything was peaceful and beautiful. Justine wore a simple white dress. Her dark hair was pulled back with small flowers. She had never felt more beautiful in her life. Elon stood at the altar in a black suit. His hair was neat for once. When he saw Justine walking down the aisle, his eyes filled with tears of joy. You look amazing, he whispered when she reached him. So do you? She whispered back. The ceremony was short. They had written their own vows. Elon promised to love Justine forever, to protect her, to share his dreams with her. Justine promised to stand by him, through good times and bad, to keep his secrets safe. When the priest said, "You may kiss the bride," Elon kissed her like it was the first day of the rest of their lives. In the front row, Elon's mother May clapped and cried happy tears. She was a beautiful woman with silver hair. She had raised Elon and his brother Kimball mostly by herself. Kimball was there too. He smiled and cheered for his big brother. The two brothers were close. They had protected each other growing up. But there was one empty chair in the front row, the chair where Elon's father should have been sitting. After the ceremony, people asked where Elon Musk was. He couldn't make it, Elon said coldly. That was all he would say. But Justine knew the truth. Elon had not invited his father. He never wanted to see him again. The reception. Later that day, the party was at a small winery nearby. People danced and laughed. Everyone was happy except Elon. Justine could see him watching the door, like he was afraid someone might walk in. What's wrong? She asked during their first dance. Nothing, Elon said, but his hands were sweating. You keep looking at the door. I just want today to be perfect for you. Justine knew he was lying, but it was their wedding day. She decided not to push. Around sunset, Elon's phone rang. He looked at the number and his face went white. I have to take this, he said. On our wedding day? I'm sorry, it's important. Elon walked outside to answer the phone. Justine watched through the window. She could see him getting more upset. His free hand was shaking. He was pacing back and forth. After 10 minutes, he came back inside. He looked sick. Who was that? Justine asked. Nobody important, Elon said. But she could tell he was lying again. The honeymoon, Bora Bora. Bora Bora. They flew to a tropical island for their honeymoon. It should have been the happiest week of their lives. The water was blue like jewels. The beach was white sand. Their hotel room was right on the ocean. But Elon couldn't relax. He checked his phone every few minutes. He barely slept. When he did sleep, he had nightmares. On the third night, Justine woke up to find Elon sitting on the balcony. He was staring at the ocean and crying. Elon, what's wrong? He didn't answer at first. Then he said, Do you believe in karma? What do you mean? Do you think bad things come back to hurt you? Even years later? Justine sat down next to him. Are you talking about the mine? Elon nodded. Sometimes I think I'll never escape what I did, no matter how far I run. You were 16. You were scared. You made a mistake. 12 men died. Justine. 12 fathers and sons and brothers. And I helped cover it up. But you didn't cause the accident. No. But I made sure their families never got justice. I made sure they never knew the truth about how their loved ones died. Elon's phone rang again. Same number as at the wedding. This time, Justine grabbed it before he could answer. Hello? She said. Who is this? The voice had a thick South African accent. It sounded old and mean. This is Justine, Elon's wife. Ah, the new Mrs. Musk. How lovely. Who are you? Tell my son that I know where he is. Tell him I know about his little rocket company. Tell him that some secrets can't stay buried forever. The man hung up. Justine stared at the phone. Elon, who was that? Elon's face was ghost white. My father. Your father? But you said you never talked to him. I don't. He finds me anyway. He's been calling for months. What does he want? Elon took the phone back. His hands were shaking so bad he almost dropped it. Money. He always wants money. But this time is different. Different how? He knows about SpaceX. He knows I'm starting to make real money, and he's threatening to tell people about the mine unless I pay him. Justine felt cold, despite the warm island air. He's blackmailing you. He's my father. He says he's just asking for help. But yes, it's blackmail. We should call the police. With what proof? It's my word against his. And if the police start looking into it, they might find out about the mine accident. Then everything comes out. Elon stood up and walked to the edge of the balcony. For a scary moment, Justine thought he might jump. Elon, come back here. He turned around. Tears were running down his face. I thought getting married would make me feel clean, like I could start over. But I can't run from what I did. Justine went to him and took his hands. Listen to me, she said. We're going to get through this, together. How? I don't know yet, but we will. Elon looked into her eyes. There's something else I need to tell you. Something I never told you about that night at the mine. What? One of the workers who died. His name was Joseph Mokana. When they pulled him out of the cave-in, he was still alive. Barely. Justine waited for him to continue. I was there when they brought him up. My father told me to stay back, but I couldn't. I had to see. Elon's voice got very quiet. Joseph grabbed my shirt. With his last bit of strength, he looked right at me and said, "Promise me you'll take care of my son. Promise me you'll use your life to help people, not hurt them." Oh, Elon. I promised him. A dying man asked me to promise, and I said yes. Then he died right there in front of me. That's why you work so hard. That's why you want to save the world. I made a promise to a dying man, but I also helped cover up how he died. How can I keep both promises? How can I honor him and protect the secret at the same time? Justine didn't have an answer. She just held him while he cried. There's one more thing, Elon said. Joseph had a son, David. He was hurt in the accident too. His back was broken, he can't walk. Where is he now? Johannesburg. I've been sending money for his medical care, but I do it through shell companies. He doesn't know it's from me. Why don't you tell him? Because then he'd ask questions. He'd want to know why I'm helping, and I'd have to tell him the truth about his father. Justine understood now. Elon was trapped. If he told the truth, it would hurt innocent people. If he kept lying, it was slowly killing him inside. Promise me something, Elon said suddenly. What? If something happens to me, if I die or disappear, promise me you'll tell the world the truth about the mine. Promise me you'll make sure David and the other families get justice. Nothing's going to happen to you. Promise me anyway. Justine looked at her new husband, the man she loved more than anything. He was asking her to promise something that could destroy everything they were building together. But he was also asking her to help him keep a promise to a dying man. I promise, she said. She meant it then. Just like the first promise she had made in the library. But this promise felt different. Heavier. This promise felt like it might break her heart someday. But she had no idea how right she was. Palo Alto, California, October 2002. The check was for $165 million, more money than Justine had ever imagined. Elon had just sold PayPal to eBay, and they were suddenly very rich. But Elon didn't look happy. He sat at their kitchen table staring at the check like it was a curse. We did it, Justine said, trying to sound excited. You're a millionaire. Multi-millionaire, Elon corrected. But his voice was flat. Aren't you happy? Elon looked up at her with tired eyes. This is just the beginning. Now I can really start working. Working on what? The promise I made. Justine knew what he meant. The promise to Joseph Mokana, the dying miner who had asked Elon to use his life to help people. That same week, Elon started 2 new companies, SpaceX to build rockets, Tesla to make electric cars. He worked 18 hours a day. He barely slept. He barely ate. "You're going to kill yourself," Justine warned him. "Maybe that would be better," Elon said quietly. Those words scared Justine more than anything. January 2002, the baby, their first son, was born on a cold winter day. They named him Nevada Alexander Musk. He was perfect. 10 tiny fingers, 10 tiny toes, big blue eyes like his father. For the first time in years, Elon smiled a real smile. "He's beautiful," Elon whispered, holding Nevada in the hospital room. "He looks like you," Justine said. "I hope he's better than me." Nevada made everything better for a while. Elon came home earlier from work. He sang lullabies. He changed diapers. He was gentle and loving. "You're going to be a great dad," Justine told him. "I want to be the father I never had," Elon said. But happiness in the Musk family never lasted long. 10 weeks later, Justine woke up in the middle of the night. Something was wrong. The house was too quiet. She ran to Nevada's room. He was lying in his crib, not moving. His little face was blue. "Elon," she screamed. "Call 911. They rushed to the hospital. Doctors worked on Nevada for an hour. But it was too late. Sudden infant death syndrome. Sighed Z. No one could explain why it happened. Healthy babies just sometimes stopped breathing in their sleep. Nevada was gone. The funeral was small and sad. Justine cried through the whole service. Elon didn't cry at all. He just sat there like a statue. After everyone left, Justine found Elon in Nevada's empty nursery. He was holding one of the baby's blankets. "It's my fault," he said. "No, it's not. The doctor said SIDS just happens. Nobody knows why. Everything I touch dies," Elon said. "The miners in South Africa. Now Nevada. Maybe I'm cursed." "That's not true." Elon looked at her with empty eyes. "I made a promise to use my life to help people, but I can't even protect my own son." "Elon, please don't blame yourself. We need to have more children," he said suddenly, "right away." "What?" "Elon, we just buried our baby. If we don't have children, then Nevada died for nothing. We have to try again." Justine was shocked. She wasn't ready to think about more babies. She was still grieving for Nevada. But Elon was already making plans. "We'll use IVF. We can have twins, or triplets. We need a big family." "Why?" "Because Joseph Mokena's son David is out there with no father. If I can't help him directly, at least I can be a good father to our children." Justine didn't understand the logic, but Elon was hurt and desperate. She agreed to try IVF. 2004, the twins, Griffin and Xavier, were born healthy and strong. 2 perfect boys with Elon's eyes and Justine's smile. Elon was a good father, but he was different now. Colder, more distant. He treated love like a business deal. He scheduled family time, like meetings. "I love you," he would tell the boys. But it sounded like he was reading from a script. Justine tried to make up for it. She sang to them. She played with them. She made sure they knew they were wanted and loved. But late at night, when she thought everyone was asleep, she could hear Elon crying in his office. 2006, the triplets, Kai, Saxon, and Damien, were born 2 years later. 3 more boys. The house was full of laughter and chaos. But Elon worked even more now. SpaceX had failed to reach orbit 3 times. Tesla was running out of money. He was stressed and angry all the time. "You have 5 sons," Justine told him one night. "When do you plan to spend time with them?" "I'm doing this for them," Elon snapped. "Everything I build, everything I create, it's all for them. They don't need rockets and cars. They need their father. Their father is trying to save the world. Their father is hiding from his guilt." Elon threw his coffee cup across the room. It shattered against the wall. "Don't you dare," he said. "Don't you dare psychoanalyze me. I'm not psychoanalyzing you, I'm your wife. I'm worried about you. I'm fine." "You're not fine. You haven't been fine since Nevada died. Maybe even since before that." Elon's phone rang. He looked at the number and his face went white. The same look he got whenever his father called. "I have to take this," he said. "No, you don't. It's 3 in the morning." But Elon was already walking away. 3 a.m. Elon's office. Justine followed him. She stood outside his office door and listened. "I told you never to call here," Elon was saying. She couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, but she could tell it was his father. No, I won't give you more money, because you'll just waste it like always. I don't care what you tell people. Elon's voice got louder. You think I'm scared of you? I'm not 16 anymore? Go ahead and tell them. See if anyone believes a drunk old man with gambling debts. There was a long pause. What do you mean you have proof? That's impossible. I destroyed everything. You're lying. Another pause. This one longer. Fine. How much do you want this time? Justine's heart sank. Elon was still paying his father to keep quiet. After he hung up, she found him sitting in the dark. His head was in his hands. How much this time, she asked. Elon didn't act surprised that she had been listening. 2 million. Elon, this has to stop. I know. Then why don't you just tell the truth? It was 20 years ago. You were a kid. Because it's not just about me anymore. It's about you. Our children. If the truth comes out, we'll lose everything. The companies will fail. The investors will run. And what we're trying to build will die. Maybe that would be better than living like this. Elon looked at her like she was crazy. Do you know how many people work for SpaceX and Tesla now? Thousands. They have families, mortgages, children to feed. If I go down, they all go down with me. So you're going to keep paying your father forever? Until I figure out a better way. Justine sat down next to him. There is a better way. Tell the truth. Face the consequences. Stop running. I can't. Why not? Elon was quiet for a long time. Then he said, because I'm a coward. It was the first honest thing he had said in months. You're not a coward, Justine said. You're scared. There's a difference. Is there? A coward would have taken the money and run. You're trying to build something good. You're trying to help people. But I'm doing it all wrong. I'm destroying my family to save strangers. Then change. Stop working so much. Stop paying your father. Stop letting the past control your future. Elon looked at her with tears in his eyes. I don't know how. Then let me help you. How? By being honest with each other. By stopping the lies. By facing this together. For a moment, Justine thought he might say yes. For a moment, she thought they might finally be free. But then Elon's face hardened again. I can't risk it, he said. Too many people are counting on me now. What about the people who are counting on you here? Your wife? Your children? You'll understand someday. When the companies are successful, when we really are helping humanity, then it will all be worth it. Justine felt something break inside her heart. Not all at once, just a small crack. But cracks have a way of growing. I hope you're right, she said. But she was starting to think that Elon was more lost than ever. And she was starting to wonder if love was enough to save him. Or if anything was. Tesla factory, Fremont, California, March 2008. The factory was almost empty. Tesla was running out of money. Fast. Elon stood on the production floor looking at the half-built cars. Only 17 Tesla Roadsters had been made so far. They needed to make thousands to survive. We're 3 months away from bankruptcy, his CFO told him. Maybe less. Elon's phone rang. It was Justine. The boys need you to come to Griffin's soccer game, she said. You promised you'd be there. I can't. We're in crisis mode here. You're always in crisis mode. Your sons need their father. My sons need their father to not lose everything we've built. They're 6 years old, Elon. They don't care about Tesla. They care about you. Elon looked around the empty factory, at the workers who might lose their jobs, at the dream that might die. I'm sorry, he said. I can't leave right now. Fine, Justine said. Her voice was cold. I'll tell them Daddy was too busy saving the world again. She hung up. SpaceX headquarters. Hawthorne Mine 4. Same day. 3 hours later, Elon was at SpaceX. The Falcon 1 rocket had failed again. 3 launches. 3 failures. The company was almost out of money too. We have enough funding for maybe one more try, his engineer told him. Then we better make it count, Elon said. He worked until midnight. Then he drove home to Bel Air. The house was dark. Everyone was asleep. Elon went to his office and opened his laptop. Emails from investors who wanted their money back. News articles calling him a failure. Message boards where people made jokes about his toy rockets. His phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Saw the news about Tesla. Looks like your little car company is dying. Maybe it's time we had another chat. Mina's dad. Elon stared at the message. His father was like a vulture, always circling when things got bad. He poured himself a whiskey, then another, then another. At 3 a.m., he found himself in Griffin and Xavier's room. The twins were sleeping peacefully. They looked so innocent, so safe. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm sorry I'm never here. I'm sorry I can't be the dad you deserve." But even as he said it, he knew he wouldn't change. He couldn't change. The promise to Joseph Mokane was bigger than everything else. Family dinner. 2 weeks later, Justine had made Elon's favorite meal, steak and potatoes. She was trying to save their marriage one dinner at a time. The 5 boys sat around the table. Griffin and Xavier were 8 now. The triplets were 6. They were beautiful children, smart and funny. "Daddy, why do you work so much?" Kai asked. "Because I'm building things that will help people," Elon said. "What kind of things?" "Rockets that will take people to space. Cars that don't pollute the air." "But why you?" Saxon asked. "Why can't someone else do it?" Elon was quiet for a moment. How could he explain to a 6-year-old about promises made to dying men? "Because someone has to," he said finally. "But we need you here," Damien said. Elon's chest felt tight. "I know, buddy, but this is important." "More important than us?" Griffin asked. The question hit Elon like a punch to the stomach. "No, nothing is more important than you." "Then stay home more," Xavier said. "I can't." "Why not?" "Because." Elon looked around the table at his family, at the life he was slowly destroying. "Because I made a promise to someone a long time ago." "What kind of promise?" Justine asked. There was something sharp in her voice. "A promise to help people." "What about your promise to me? What about your promise to them?" Elon didn't have an answer. After dinner, Justine followed him to his office. "We need to talk," she said. "I have work to do." "Your work can wait. Your marriage can't." Elon closed his laptop. "What do you want me to say?" "I want you to choose them or us." "What do you mean?" "I mean this obsession with saving the world. This guilt about things that happened before I even met you. It's destroying our family. I'm trying to build a better future for our children." "Our children don't need a better future. They need their father right now. Today." "You don't understand." "Then help me understand. Tell me exactly what happened at that mine. Tell me exactly what you did. Maybe if I knew the whole truth, I could help you figure out how to live with it." Elon was quiet for a long time. "There were 12 workers in the mine that day," he said finally. "The safety inspector had warned my father the tunnel was unstable, but my father ignored the warning. He wanted to get the emeralds out before the rainy season." Justine waited. "When the tunnel collapsed, most of the men died instantly, but 3 of them were still alive, Joseph Mokane and 2 others. What happened to them?" "My father told the rescue teams to work slowly. He said it was too dangerous to rush, but really he was stalling." "Why?" "Because if they died, there would be no witnesses. No one to say that my father had ignored the safety warnings." Justine felt sick. "And you helped with this?" "I didn't know what he was doing at first. I was just a kid. He told me to help with the computer files. He said we needed to change some dates to make the paperwork match." "But you figured it out?" "Yeah, I figured it out, and I did it anyway." "Because you were scared." "Because I was weak." Elon's voice was full of self-hate. 3 men died while I sat in an office changing dates on a computer, including Joseph Mokane, the man who made me promise to help people. "So that's why you work so hard. You're trying to save more lives than you help destroy." "Something like that." Justine sat down across from him. "Elon, you were 16. You were scared and confused and manipulated by your father. That doesn't make it right." "No, but it makes it understandable, and it makes it forgivable." "Not to me." "Then you're going to destroy everything good in your life because of something you did as a scared teenager. Maybe I deserve to have it destroyed. What about us? What about your sons? Do we deserve to have our lives destroyed too?" Elon looked at her with tired eyes. "I don't know how to be different." "Start by stopping the payments to your father." "I can't." "Why not?" "Because he has proof now. Documents I thought were destroyed. Pictures from the mine. If he goes public, it won't just hurt me, it will hurt you and the boys too." "How much are you paying him?" "It started at a few thousand a month. Now it's $500,000 every quarter." $2 million a year?" More in bad years. When the companies are struggling, he asks for more. He knows I'm desperate. Justine felt like she was drowning. This can't go on forever. I know. Then what's your plan? I don't have one. I just keep building companies and hoping that someday I'll be powerful enough that it won't matter what he says. And in the meantime, you destroy your marriage and abandon your children. I'm not abandoning them. I'm securing their future. You're abandoning them, Justine said firmly. You missed Griffin's birthday last month. You haven't been to a single soccer game this season. Xavier asked me why Daddy doesn't love him anymore. That hit Elon like a knife to the heart. He said that? He's 8 years old, Elon. All he knows is that his father is never around. I do love him. I love all of them. Then show them. Stop working 18-hour days. Stop letting your father control your life. Choose your family. It's not that simple. It is that simple. You're making it complicated because you're scared. Of course I'm scared. If the truth comes out, everything I've built will collapse. Tesla will die. SpaceX will die. Thousands of people will lose their jobs. And if you keep going like this, your marriage will die. Your relationship with your children will die. You'll die inside. Elon stood up and walked to the window. Outside, Los Angeles sparkled in the darkness. I need more time, he said. How much more time? I don't know. Maybe when the companies are more stable. Maybe when I don't need investors anymore. That could be years. Then it takes years. Justine felt the crack in her heart grow bigger. I can't do this anymore, she said quietly. What do you mean? I mean, I can't watch you destroy yourself. I can't watch you ignore your children. I can't pretend that everything is okay when it's not. Are you threatening to leave me? I'm telling you that I'm drowning, and if you can't throw me a rope, then I have to swim to shore by myself. Elon turned around. For the first time in months, he looked really scared. Please don't leave me, he said. I need you. Then change. Choose us. Choose to be happy. I don't know how to be happy. I haven't been happy since I was 16 years old. Then get help. See a therapist. Take medication. Do something. I can't talk to a therapist about this. It's too dangerous. Then talk to me. Really talk to me. Stop shutting me out. Elon was quiet for a long time. There's something else, he said finally. Something I never told you. What? The documents my father has. They're not just about the mine accident. What else? They show that I used some of the emerald money to start Zip2, my first company, which means PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX. Everything I've built started with blood money. Justine felt like the floor had dropped out from under her. How much money? She whispered. Enough, maybe $100,000. But it was the seed money that got everything started. So everything we have came from those 12 dead miners. The crack in Justine's heart became a canyon. I need some air, she said. She walked out of the house and sat in her car in the driveway. She cried until she couldn't cry anymore. When she came back inside, Elon was in his office making phone calls to investors. Working. Always working. She went to their bedroom and started packing a suitcase. Some promises were too heavy to keep, some secrets were too big to carry, and some marriages couldn't survive the weight of the past. Los Angeles County Courthouse, September 2008. The divorce papers were 47 pages long. Justine's lawyer had made sure of that. He's offering you $2 million, the lawyer said, plus child support. What's the catch? Justine asked. You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. You can never write about your marriage, never talk to reporters about Elon, never publish anything about his family or his companies. Justine stared at the papers. $2 million to stay quiet forever. There's also this, the lawyer said. He slid another document across the table. A non-compete clause. You can't start any business that might compete with Tesla or SpaceX. He's trying to control me even after our divorce. That's what it looks like. Justine thought about the secret document hidden in her safety deposit box. Elon's teenage confession about the mine. If she signed these papers, she could never use it, never tell the truth. But she also thought about her 5 sons. They needed stability. They needed a home. I'll sign, she said. Justine's new apartment, December 2008. The apartment was small but bright. 2 bedrooms in Santa Monica, close to the ocean, far from Elon's world of rockets and cars. Justine had joint custody of the boys. They spent half their time with her, half with Elon. When they were with her, the house felt alive. When they were gone, it felt empty. She tried to write again, her first book in years. But every time she sat at her computer, she thought about the story she couldn't tell. The most important story of her life. On Christmas Eve, the boys were with Elon. Justine sat alone in her apartment, drinking wine and watching old movies. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Mrs. Musk? The voice had a South African accent. But it wasn't Elon Musk. This voice was younger, sadder. Who is this? My name is David Mokina. I think my father knew your ex-husband. Justine's wine glass slipped from her hand. It shattered on the floor. How did you get this number? I've been looking for information about my father for 20 years. He died in a mining accident in Zambia in 1995. The records say it was just an accident, but I don't think that's the whole truth. I'm sorry about your father, but I don't know anything about mining accidents. My father's name was Joseph Mokena. He worked at a mine partly owned by Elon Musk, Elon's father. Justine closed her eyes. This was the phone call she had always feared. I've been getting anonymous payments for my medical care, David continued. For 20 years. Someone has been paying my doctors, my physical therapy, my wheelchair equipment. The payments come from shell companies, but I finally traced them back. Traced them back to what? To companies owned by Elon Musk. Justine didn't know what to say. Mrs. Musk, I know this is hard, but I think your ex-husband knows something about how my father died, and I think he's been helping me because he feels guilty about something. Why are you calling me? Because Elon won't talk to me. His lawyers send letters saying he has no comment, but the payments keep coming. $20,000 a month, like clockwork. What do you want? I want the truth, about how my father really died, about why Elon has been helping me, about what happened at that mine. After David hung up, Justine sat in her dark apartment for hours. She thought about Joseph Mokena, about his son David, who couldn't walk because of what happened that day, about Elon, who was still paying for his teenage mistakes. She thought about the document in her safety deposit box, the confession that could answer all of David's questions. But she had promised Elon she would keep it secret, and she had signed legal papers saying she couldn't talk about his past. Some secrets were like cancer. The longer you kept them, the more they spread. 2010. New beginnings. Justine published her first novel in 2 years. Blood Angel was about a woman trying to escape her past. It became a bestseller. At book signings, people always asked about Elon. Is your ex-husband really going to Mars? They would ask. You'd have to ask him, Justine would say with a smile. She never broke her promise. She never told their secrets. But late at night, when she couldn't sleep, she would get online and read about Tesla and SpaceX. Elon was becoming famous. People called him a genius, a visionary, the man who would save humanity. If only they knew the real story. 2012, success and guilt. SpaceX finally reached orbit. Tesla went public. Elon was on the cover of magazines around the world. The boys were proud of their father. Dad's going to take people to Mars, they would tell their friends. But Justine saw what others didn't. In interviews, Elon looked tired, stressed. When reporters asked about his childhood, he changed the subject quickly. The success was making him more famous, but it wasn't making him happy. David Mokena called again that year. I've been trying to meet with Elon for 4 years, he said. His lawyers keep saying no. Maybe you should respect that. Mrs. Musk, I'm 32 years old. I've been in a wheelchair since I was 16. I think I deserve to know why someone has been paying my bills for half my life. What do you think happened? I think there was more to my father's death than anyone admitted. I think Elon Musk cut corners to save money, and I think young Elon saw something that has haunted him ever since. David was getting close to the truth. Too close. I don't know anything about that. Justine lied. Then why won't Elon talk to me? Why won't he even take a meeting? Maybe because he's busy running 2 companies. Or maybe because he's hiding something. After David hung up, Justine went to her safety deposit box. She took out Elon's confession and read it again. The paper was yellowing with age, but the words were still clear, still devastating. She put it back in the box and drove home. But she couldn't stop thinking about David Mokena, a man who had spent 16 years in a wheelchair, not knowing why someone was secretly taking care of him. He deserved the truth. But telling the truth would destroy Elon. And despite everything, she still cared about him. 2014, Xavier's decisions. Their son Xavier was 14 now, smart and sensitive like his father, but also kind in a way Elon had forgotten how to be. One day, Xavier came to Justine crying. "I found something in Dad's office," he said. "What kind of something?" Xavier pulled out a folder. Old photos, documents, letters. There are pictures from Africa, from some kind of mine, and there are papers about people who died. Justine's heart stopped. There's a letter too, from someone named David Mokana. He keeps asking Dad to meet with him, but Dad never writes back. Xavier looked up at his mother with confused eyes. "Mom, why won't Dad help this person? This David guy seems really nice, and he's in a wheelchair." Justine took the folder. Inside were photos from the mine in Zambia. Pictures that Elon wasn't supposed to have. Pictures his father must have given him years ago. There was also a stack of letters from David. 20 years of letters. Polite at first, then desperate, then angry. In the most recent letter, David wrote, "I know you're the one paying my medical bills. I know you feel guilty about something. Please, just talk to me. Help me understand what happened to my father." "Did you show this to your dad?" Justine asked. "I tried, but he got really upset. He took the folder away and told me to never go in his office again." "What did you tell him?" "I told him that keeping secrets hurts people. I told him that if he knows something about this David person's father, he should help." "What did Dad say?" "He said some things are too complicated for kids to understand." Then he started crying. Xavier looked at his mother with serious eyes. "Mom, I think Dad is in trouble. I think he did something bad when he was young, and now he doesn't know how to fix it." Justine hugged her son. He was so young, but he understood more than most adults. "What do you think he should do?" she asked. "Tell the truth. Say he's sorry. Try to help. What if telling the truth hurts other people? Then you tell the truth anyway. Because keeping secrets hurts people more." That night, Justine couldn't sleep. Her 14-year-old son had more wisdom than she did. 2016, the breaking point. Tesla was struggling again. The Model 3 was behind schedule. Elon was working himself to death. David Mokana called one more time. "Mrs. Musk, I'm flying to California next month. I'm going to Tesla's factory. I'm going to wait outside until Elon talks to me." "That's not a good idea." "It's the only idea I have left. My father died 21 years ago. I've been getting mystery payments for 21 years, and I've been asking for answers for 21 years. What if he can't tell you what you want to know? Then at least I'll know I tried everything." David's voice was tired, beaten down. "Mrs. Musk, can I ask you something?" "What?" "Do you think Elon is a good man?" Justine thought about that question for a long time. "I think he's a man trying to be good," she said finally. "But I think he's carrying something too heavy for one person to carry. Then maybe it's time he put it down." "Maybe it is." After David hung up, Justine made a decision that would change everything. She drove to her safety deposit box. She took out Elon's confession. She made 3 copies. One copy she mailed to David Mokana in Johannesburg. One copy she kept for herself. And one copy she put in an envelope addressed to Sarah Chen at the Los Angeles Times. But she didn't mail that one. Not yet. She was giving Elon one last chance to tell the truth himself. Because 21 years was long enough for anyone to carry such a heavy secret. And David Mokana deserved to know what happened to his father. Johannesburg, South Africa, February 2018. David Mokana sat in his small apartment reading the papers Justine had sent him. His hands shook as he turned each page. The confession was written in teenage handwriting. Messy but honest. It told the whole story. How Elon Musk had ignored safety warnings. How the mine collapsed. How 12 workers died. How 16-year-old Elon had helped cover it up. "My father," David whispered to the empty room. Joseph Mokana, age 34, died trying to feed his family. The confession also explained the mystery payments. For 23 years, Elon had been secretly paying David's medical bills, physical therapy, wheelchair equipment, doctor visits, all because of a promise he made to a dying man. David picked up his phone and called his lawyer. "I need to book a flight to America," he said. "It's time to get some answers." Tesla Gigafactory, Nevada, Minehurst, March 2018. Elon stood on the factory floor watching robots build batteries. Thousands of them. Each one would power a car that didn't pollute the air. He should have felt proud. Tesla was finally succeeding. They were making the world cleaner. But all he felt was tired. His assistant walked up to him. "Sir, there's someone here to see you," says his name is David Mokuna. Elon's face went white. "Tell him I'm not available. He says he's not leaving until you talk to him. He's been waiting outside for 6 hours." Elon closed his eyes. This day had been coming for 23 years. "Send him to my office," he said quietly. Elon's office. 10 minutes later. David Mokuna rolled his wheelchair into the office. He was 38 years old now. Strong arms from years of pushing his chair. Kind eyes like his father. Elon sat behind his desk, trying to look calm, but his hands were shaking. "Hello, Elon," David said. "Thank you for finally agreeing to see me. I don't know why you're here." "I think you do." David pulled out the confession papers. "Justine sent me these. Your confession about what happened at my father's mine." Elon stared at the papers. "Where did she get those?" "You gave them to her, a long time ago, when you thought you might die and wanted someone to know the truth. Those papers are private. My father's death wasn't private. 12 families lost someone that day. We deserve to know what really happened." Elon was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I was just a kid. I was scared." "I know. I read your confession. You were 16 and your father forced you to help. Then why are you here? What do you want from me?" David rolled his chair closer to the desk. "I want you to look at me." "What?" "For 23 years you've been paying my bills, helping me from a distance. But you've never looked at me. You've never seen what your choices did." Elon forced himself to look at David's face. He saw Joseph Mokuna's eyes. The same kind expression. The same gentle smile. "You look like him," Elon whispered. "Like who?" "Your father. When he was dying, he looked at me with the same eyes you have now." "What did he say to you?" Elon's voice was barely audible. "He said, 'Promise me you'll take care of my son. Promise me you'll use your life to help people, not hurt them.' And you promised." "I promised. And then I spent the next 23 years trying to keep that promise while hiding from the truth." David was quiet. He had imagined this conversation 1,000 times. But he never expected Elon to look so broken. "Why didn't you ever contact me directly?" David asked. "Because I was ashamed. Because every time I looked at you, I would see what my cowardice cost. Your cowardice didn't put me in this wheelchair. The mine accident did. But my cowardice helped cover up why the accident happened. If I had been brave, maybe your father and the others would have gotten justice." David nodded slowly. "Maybe. But we can't change the past. Then what do you want from me now?" "I want you to help me change the future." Elon looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I don't want your money anymore. I want your partnership." "Partnership in what?" "I'm starting a foundation for mining safety in Africa. I want to make sure what happened to my father never happens to anyone else." Elon was shocked. "You want to work together?" "My father told you to use your life to help people. This is how we can do it. Together. But everyone will find out the truth about what I did, about the cover-up." "Good. It's time for the truth to come out." Elon felt panic rising in his chest. "You don't understand. If the truth comes out, it will destroy everything. Tesla, SpaceX, all of it. Thousands of people will lose their jobs. Or maybe it will free you to do even more good. I can't take that risk." David looked at him with sad eyes. "Then you're still that scared 16-year-old boy." "Maybe I am. My father didn't die so you could live in fear forever. He died believing you would become something better." Elon stood up and walked to the window. Outside, the Nevada desert stretched to the horizon. "What exactly are you asking me to do?" "Tell the truth publicly. Admit what happened at the mine. Help me start the foundation. Honor my father's memory the right way. And if I say no, then I'll tell the story myself. But I'd rather tell it with you." Elon turned around. "You're going to expose me either way?" "I'm going to honor my father either way. Whether you help or not is up to you." They stared at each other for a long moment. Two men whose lives had been shaped by one terrible day 23 years ago. "I need time to think," Elon said. "How much time?" "A few weeks. Maybe a month. I'll give you until the end of April. Then I'm going public with or without you." David rolled toward the door. Then he stopped. "Elon, Yeah? My father was a good man. He didn't deserve to die because someone wanted to save money on safety equipment. I know. But he also wouldn't want his death to destroy your life. He wanted you to help people. And you have helped people. Tesla is making the air cleaner. SpaceX is pushing humanity forward. Then why force me to tell the truth now? Because secrets are like poison. The longer you keep them, the more they hurt everyone around you. David looked at Elon with his father's kind eyes. My father believed in you, even as he was dying. Maybe it's time you believed in yourself. That night, Elon's mansion in Bel Air. Elon sat in his study, drinking whiskey. On his desk was a photo from the mine in Zambia. Joseph Makena and the other 11 workers who died that day. He had carried their faces in his memory for 23 years. But seeing David had made it real again. His phone rang. It was Justine. I heard David came to see you, she said. You sent him my confession. Yes, I did. Why? Because it was time. Because he deserved to know. Because you've been dying inside for 23 years. You broke your promise to me. You broke your promise to yourself a long time ago. Elon was quiet. What are you going to do? Justine asked. I don't know. If I tell the truth, everything I've built could collapse. And if you don't tell the truth, you'll never be free. What about our children? What about their future? Our children are smart and strong. They'll be okay. But they need a father who isn't carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. Elon looked at the photo again. 12 men who died because his father was greedy. 12 families who never got justice. Justine? Yeah? I'm scared. I know. But you don't have to be scared alone anymore. After he hung up, Elon sat in the dark for hours. Outside, Los Angeles glittered like stars. Millions of people living their lives. Most of them didn't know his name, but some of them drove his cars. Some of them dreamed of riding his rockets to Mars. He had built all of this to honor a promise to a dying man. But maybe the best way to honor that promise was to finally tell the truth. His phone buzzed. A text from his daughter Vivian, who was now 18. Dad, I saw the news about someone coming to see you. I hope you're okay. I love you no matter what. Even his own children were starting to figure out that something was wrong. Elon made a decision that would change his life forever. He picked up his phone and called David Mokena. David, it's Elon. I've made my choice. Present day, Justine's apartment. Los Angeles. Sarah Chen arrived at Justine's apartment 30 minutes after the phone call. She was a small woman with kind eyes and a notebook full of questions. Thank you for agreeing to see me, Sarah said, sitting across from Justine at the kitchen table. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing, Justine admitted. Her coffee cup sat untouched. Her hands were still shaking. Why don't you start at the beginning? What is it about Elon that you think the world should know? Justine took a deep breath. It started when he was 16 years old, in South Africa, at his father's emerald mine in Zambia. Sarah wrote quickly in her notebook. What happened at the mine? There was an accident. A cave-in. 12 workers died. That's tragic. But accidents happen in mines. This wasn't really an accident, Justine said. Her voice was getting stronger now. Elon's father, Elon Musk, knew the mine was dangerous. A safety inspector had warned him the tunnels were unstable. But Errol ignored the warnings because he wanted to get the emeralds out before the rainy season started. Sarah looked up from her notes. So it was negligence? It was worse than that. When the tunnel collapsed, 3 workers were still alive, including a man named Joseph Mokana. But instead of rushing to save them, Errol told the rescue teams to work slowly. He said it was too dangerous to hurry. Why would he do that? Because if the workers died, there would be no witnesses, no one to say that he had ignored the safety warnings. Sarah's pen stopped moving. Are you saying Elon Musk let those men die to cover up his negligence? That's exactly what I'm saying. And Elon helped him do it. Elon was 16. How could he help with something like that? Justine reached into her purse and pulled out the yellowed confession. Elon was always good with computers. Even back then, his father asked him to change some computer files, delete some records, make it look like the accident happened differently than it really did. Sarah stared at the papers. Is that Elon's handwriting? Yes. He wrote this confession when he was 18. He gave it to me when we were dating. He said if anything ever happened to him, someone needed to know the truth. Why are you telling me this now? After all these years? Justine's eyes filled with tears. Because one of the workers who died that day had a son, a boy named David Mokena. He was hurt in the same accident. His spine was damaged. He's been in a wheelchair for 26 years. That's awful. Elon has been secretly paying David's medical bills for over 20 years, but David only found out recently who was helping him. Sarah was writing furiously now. How did he find out? I sent him Elon's confession. Last month, David flew from South Africa to Nevada. He confronted Elon at the Tesla factory. What did Elon say? At first, he tried to deny everything, but David had the confession. Elon couldn't lie anymore. Justine wiped her eyes with a tissue. David didn't want revenge, Sarah. He wanted partnership. He asked Elon to help him start a foundation for mining safety in Africa. He wanted to make sure what happened to his father never happened to anyone else. That's remarkably forgiving. David is a good man, like his father was. But there's more to the story. Sarah waited. Joseph Mokena, David's father, didn't die right away. When they pulled him from the cave-in, he was still alive, barely breathing, but alive. Justine's voice got very quiet. Elon was there when they brought Joseph up. Joseph grabbed Elon's shirt with his last bit of strength. He looked right into Elon's eyes and said, "Promise me you'll take care of my son. Promise me you'll use your life to help people, not hurt them." So Elon promised a dying man? Yes. And that promise has driven everything Elon has done since then. Every company he's built, every rocket he's launched, every car Tesla has made, it's all been him trying to keep that promise to Joseph Mokena. Sarah was amazed. So everything Elon Musk has accomplished has been his way of making up for what he did when he was 16. He's been trying to save more lives than he helped destroy. But why tell this story now? It sounds like he's been trying to do good. Because the secret has been poisoning everything, Justine said. It destroyed our marriage, it's hurt our children, and it's slowly killing Elon. How do you mean? Elon's father has been blackmailing him for years. Errol knows that Elon helped cover up the mine accident, so every time Elon becomes successful, Errol demands money to keep quiet. How much money? Millions. It started small, but it got bigger as Elon got richer. By 2018, Elon was paying his father $2 million a year. Sarah whistled softly. That's a lot of blackmail money. But there's something else. Something even worse. What? Justine took a shaky breath. Some of the money from the emerald mine was used to start Elon's first company, Zip2, which means PayPal, Tesla, SpaceX minus everything Elon has built started with what he calls blood money. Money connected to the deaths of those 12 miners? Yes. In Elon's mind, everything he owns is tainted. Everything he's built came from the suffering of those families. Sarah put down her pen. This is an incredible story, but I have to ask, do you have proof of any of this? Justine slid the confession across the table. This is Elon's written confession, in his own handwriting. It explains everything. What about the blackmail payments to his father? I have bank records from when we were married, and David Mokena can confirm the medical payments he's been receiving. This would be huge news if it's true. But why should people believe it? Why would Elon's ex-wife suddenly decide to expose him? Because David Mokena deserves justice. Because the families of those 12 miners deserve to know the truth. And because Justine's voice broke. Because I love my children, and I can't watch their father destroy himself anymore. What do you mean? Last week, David gave Elon an ultimatum. Tell the truth publicly and help start the Mining Safety Foundation, or David would tell the story himself. What did Elon choose? That's the thing, Sarah. I don't know yet. David said he would give Elon until the end of April to decide. But something happened last night that changed everything. What happened? Elon called David. I heard about it from my daughter Vivian. She said her father sounded different, calmer, like he had finally made peace with something. Sarah leaned forward. Do you think he's going to tell the truth? I think he's going to try, but I also think he's scared. If this story comes out, it could destroy Tesla and SpaceX. Thousands of people could lose their jobs. Investors could lose billions of dollars. But you decided to tell the story anyway? Because keeping it secret has hurt even more people. It's hurt David, who has spent 26 years not knowing why someone was helping him. It's hurt our children, who have watched their father work himself to death trying to make up for something they didn't understand. And it's hurt Elon most of all. Justine looked out the window at the sunny Los Angeles morning. You know what's funny, Sarah? Everyone thinks Elon works so hard because he's greedy for success. But the truth is, he works so hard because he's trying to earn forgiveness for something he did when he was just a scared kid. Do you think he deserves forgiveness? I think he spent 26 years trying to earn it. Building clean cars to help the environment. Building rockets to help humanity reach the stars. Secretly caring for David Mokay. He's not perfect, but he's tried to be good. Then why expose him now? Because David Mokay deserves to know the truth about his father. Because the secret has been a cancer in Elon's life for too long. And because sometimes telling the truth is the only way to set everyone free. Sarah closed her notebook. This is an amazing story, Justine. If I write this article, it will change how the world sees Elon Musk forever. I know. Are you prepared for that? I've been carrying this secret for 20 years. I'm tired, Sarah. I'm tired of protecting someone who won't protect himself. What do you think will happen when this comes out? I don't know. Maybe Tesla and SpaceX will survive. Maybe they won't. Maybe people will understand that Elon was just a scared teenager who made a terrible mistake. Maybe they won't. Justine stood up and walked to the window. But I know this. David Mokay has waited 26 years for answers. That's long enough. She turned back to Sarah. When will you publish the story? I need to verify everything first. Talk to David Mokay. Try to reach Elon for comment. Maybe a week? That might be too late. What do you mean? Because Elon is supposed to give David his answer by tomorrow. And whatever he decides, everything is about to change. The two women sat in silence for a moment. Outside, Los Angeles was waking up to what might be Elon Musk's last day as the world's most admired entrepreneur. Tomorrow, everyone would know the truth. And nothing would ever be the same. Tesla headquarters, Austin, Texas. The next morning, Elon stood in front of the bathroom mirror in his office. His hands shook as he tried to knot his tie. Today was the day he would finally tell the world the truth. At 2 p.m., he had scheduled a press conference. He told his assistants it was about a new Tesla product. But really, it was about something much bigger. His phone buzzed. A text from David Mokay. Whatever you decide today, thank you for finally talking to me. Another text from Justine. I'm proud of you. The boys will be proud too. A third text from his daughter Vivian. Dad, I love you no matter what happens today. Even his family was starting to understand that something big was coming. 2 p.m., Tesla press conference. The room was packed with reporters. Cameras from every major news network. People expecting to hear about new cars or factories. Elon walked to the podium. He looked out at all the faces. So many people who saw him as a hero. A genius. The man who would save the world. In a few minutes, they would see him differently. Thank you all for coming, he began. His voice was steady, but his hands were shaking. Today, I want to talk to you about something that happened 26 years ago. Something that has shaped every decision I've made since. The reporters looked confused. This wasn't about Tesla. When I was 16 years old, I made a terrible mistake. A mistake that cost 12 people their lives. You could hear a pin drop in the room. My father owned part of an emerald mine in Zambia. On November 15, 1995, that mine collapsed. 12 workers died, and I helped cover up the truth about why they died. Cameras flashed. Reporters started scribbling notes frantically. My father had been warned that the mine was unsafe, but he ignored those warnings because he wanted to extract more emeralds before the rainy season. When the tunnel collapsed, he told me to help change computer records, to delete files, to make it look like the accident was unavoidable. Elon's voice got stronger as he continued. I was 16. I was scared, and I was wrong. I helped my father lie to the authorities. I helped him steal justice from 12 families. A reporter raised her hand. Mr. Musk, why are you telling us this now? Because one of the men who died that day was named Joseph Mokay. He had a 16-year-old son named David. David was hurt in the same accident. His spine was damaged. He's been in a wheelchair for 26 years. Elon paused. The room was completely silent. 3 weeks ago, David Mokay came to see me. He had learned that I had been secretly paying his medical bills for over 20 years. He wanted to know why. What did you tell him? Another reporter asked. I told him the truth, about his father, about the accident, about the promise his father made me make before he died. What promise? Elon's eyes filled with tears. Joseph Mokay grabbed my shirt as he was dying. He looked at me and said, Promise me you'll take care of my son. Promise me you'll use your life to help people, not hurt them." The room was completely quiet now. Everything I have built since then has been my attempt to keep that promise. Tesla exists because I wanted to help save the environment. SpaceX exists because I wanted to help humanity reach the stars. But I built them all while carrying the weight of what I had done. "Sir," a reporter called out, "are you saying that your success was motivated by guilt?" "I'm saying my success was motivated by a promise I made to a dying man. But yes, guilt was part of it too." Elon looked directly into the main camera. "For 26 years, I have been paying David Mokina's medical bills. But I never had the courage to face him directly. I was too ashamed, too scared." "What changed?" someone asked. "David found me, and instead of demanding revenge, he offered partnership. He wants to start a foundation for mining safety in Africa. He wants to make sure what happened to his father never happens to anyone else." Elon reached into his jacket and pulled out a piece of paper. "This is my original confession. I wrote it when I was 18 years old. I gave it to my ex-wife Justine and asked her to keep it secret. But secrets like this don't stay buried forever." He held up the paper for everyone to see. "I am officially announcing the creation of the Joseph Mokena Foundation for Mining Safety. David Mokena will be the director. Tesla will provide $50 million in initial funding. Our goal is to prevent mining accidents across Africa through better safety equipment and training." The reporters were shouting questions now, but Elon held up his hand. "There's more. My father, Elon Musk, has been blackmailing me for years, using this secret to demand money. I have paid him over $10 million to keep quiet. That ends today." "What will happen to your companies?" a reporter shouted. "I don't know. That's up to the investors, the board, and the public. But I hope people will understand that I was a scared teenager who made a terrible mistake, and that I have spent my entire adult life trying to make up for it." Elon looked out at the crowd one more time. "David Mokena is here with me today. I want him to tell you about his father, about the foundation we're building together, and about the forgiveness he has shown me that I didn't deserve." David Mokena rolled his wheelchair onto the stage. The room was electric with tension. "My name is David Mokena," he said in a clear, strong voice. "My father was Joseph Mokena. He died in a mining accident 26 years ago when I was 16. The cameras focused on David now. For 26 years, I wondered who was helping me, paying my medical bills, making sure I had the best doctors and equipment. I never knew it was Elon." "How do you feel about learning the truth?" a reporter asked. "At first, I was angry. My father died because of greed and cowardice. But then I realized something. Elon was just a kid, a scared, confused kid who was manipulated by his father." David looked at Elon with kind eyes. "My father was a good man. He wouldn't want his death to destroy anyone's life. He would want it to create something good, something that helps other people. So you forgive Mr. Musk?" "I forgive the 16-year-old boy who made a mistake, and I'm proud to work with the man he became." David turned to address the cameras directly. "Elon has spent 26 years trying to help humanity, building clean cars, building rockets to explore space, secretly caring for me. He's not perfect, but he's tried to be good." A reporter called out, "What do you say to people who think this revelation will destroy Tesla and SpaceX?" "I say that companies built on guilt and secrets aren't truly strong, but companies built on truth and redemption can change the world." Elon stepped back to the microphone. "I want to apologize to the families of all 12 miners who died that day. I'm sorry it took me 26 years to find the courage to tell the truth. I'm sorry I was too scared to face you directly." He paused. "I also want to apologize to my children for being absent, for working too much, for carrying this weight instead of sharing it with you. You deserved a father who wasn't haunted by his past." "What happens now?" someone shouted. "Now we build something good from something terrible. David and I will work together to make mining safer across Africa. We'll honor the memory of his father and the 11 other men who died." Elon's voice got stronger. "And I will finally stop running from my past. Because you can't build a better future while hiding from the truth." The press conference lasted another hour. Reporters asked hundreds of questions. By the time it ended, the story was already spreading around the world. That evening, Justine's apartment. Justine sat with her 5 sons watching the news coverage. Every channel was talking about Elon's confession.
"Dad was really brave today," Griffin said. "He was 24 now, old enough to understand the complexity of what had happened."
"Yes, he was," Justine agreed. Are people going to hate him now? Kai asked. Some will. But others will understand that he was just a scared kid who spent his whole life trying to make up for a mistake. Will Tesla and SpaceX survive? Saxon wondered. I don't know, Justine said honestly. But your father is free now. For the first time in 26 years, he doesn't have to carry this secret anymore. Xavier, who now went by Vivian, was watching the coverage on her phone. Mom, look at this. Joseph McKenna is trending worldwide. People are sharing stories about their own fathers who died in mining accidents. Really? Yeah. And Forgiveness Matters is trending too. A lot of people are saying they respect Dad for finally telling the truth. Justine felt tears in her eyes. Maybe, just maybe, the truth would set them all free. Her phone rang. It was Elon. Justine, I just wanted to say thank you. For what? For keeping the secret as long as you did. For protecting me until I was ready to face it myself. For being brave enough to break your promise when it was time. How do you feel? Terrified, but also lighter. Like I can breathe for the first time in 26 years. I'm proud of you, Elon. The boys are proud too. I know I was a terrible husband and a distant father. I'm sorry for that. You were a man carrying an impossible weight, but you never stopped trying to be good. What happens now? Now you get to find out who you really are when you're not running from your past. After they hung up, Justine looked out at the Los Angeles skyline. Somewhere out there, 12 families finally knew the truth about what happened to their loved ones. And somewhere in South Africa, David McKenna was probably getting ready to change the world with the man who had once helped hide the truth about his father's death. Sometimes the most broken things could be made beautiful again. If you were brave enough to tell the truth. 3 days after the press conference, Tesla's stock market. Tesla's stock price had fallen 40% in 3 days. SpaceX investors were calling emergency meetings. News headlines around the world screamed about Elon's confession. Tesla founder admits to mine cover-up. SpaceX CEO's dark secret revealed. Elon Musk, hero or fraud? But something unexpected was happening too. Johannesburg, South Africa. That same day, David McKenna sat in his small apartment reading emails on his laptop. Hundreds of them. From mining families across Africa. From safety engineers. From people who wanted to help. One email made him cry. It was from a woman in Ghana. My husband died in a gold mine collapse 3 years ago. The company said it was an accident, but I think they knew the mine was dangerous. Can your foundation help us get answers? Another email was from a man in Botswana. I lost my leg in a diamond mine accident. The company paid me nothing. They said I was careless. But 5 other men were hurt the same way. Can you help us? David had expected anger about his father's story. Instead, he found hope. People were finally talking about mining safety, about corporate responsibility, about justice for workers. His phone rang. It was Elon. David, have you seen the news? Tesla's stock is crashing. Some people are calling for me to resign. I'm sorry, Elon. I never wanted to hurt your companies. No, you don't understand. For the first time in 26 years, I don't care about the stock price. I care about doing the right thing. David smiled. What do you mean? I mean, we have work to do. The foundation. Making mines safer. Keeping our promise to your father. Are you sure? This could cost you billions of dollars. David, I've been rich for 20 years, but I've never been free. Money can't buy what you gave me when you forgave me. Tesla board meeting. Austin, Texas. 1 week later. The Tesla boardroom was tense. 12 board members sat around a long table. Elon sat at the head, looking calmer than anyone had seen him in years. Elon, said board member James Murdoch, we need to talk about damage control. The stock is still falling. Investors are nervous. I understand their concern, Elon replied, but I'm not going to apologize for telling the truth. But your confession is hurting the company, another board member said. We have employees to think about, shareholders, customers. I am thinking about them. For the first time in years, I can lead this company without lies or secrets. That makes us stronger, not weaker. Board member Robin Denholm spoke up. Elon, some investors want you to step down as CEO. They think your confession makes you a liability. Do you think I should step down? The room was quiet for a long moment. No, Robin said finally. I think you should stay. But you need to show people that Tesla is about more than just your personal redemption story. What do you suggest? Double down on the mission. Show people that what happened in that mine 26 years ago is exactly why Tesla matters. Because we're trying to build a world where companies put people before profits. Elon nodded slowly. You're right. This isn't just about me anymore. It's about changing how business works. CNN interview. 2 weeks after the confession, Anderson Cooper sat across from Elon in Tesla's Austin headquarters. Millions of people were watching. Elon, it's been 2 weeks since your confession. How are you holding up? Better than I have in 26 years, Anderson. I can sleep at night now. But Tesla's stock has lost billions in value. Some people are calling for criminal charges against you. Do you regret telling the truth? I regret what I did when I was 16, but I don't regret telling the truth about it. Critics say you only confessed because David Mokena was going to expose you anyway, that this was damage control, not genuine remorse. Elon thought for a moment. David could have destroyed me if he wanted to. Instead, he offered me partnership, forgiveness, a chance to honor his father's memory. That's not something you get through damage control. Tell me about the Joseph Mokena Foundation. How will it work? We're starting with $50 million from Tesla, but we've already received donations from around the world. Mining companies, individuals, other corporations. People want to help make mining safer. What's your ultimate goal? 0 preventable mining deaths in Africa within 10 years. Better safety equipment, better training, independent inspections, and justice for families when companies cut corners. Anderson leaned forward. Elon, you've always said you want to help humanity. Some people now question whether your motives were pure, or if everything was just guilt about this mine accident. Does it matter? If guilt led me to build electric cars that reduce pollution, is that somehow less valuable than if I had done it for other reasons? Good point. But critics say you used blood money from the Emerald Mine to start your first company. That's true. About $100,000 from my father's emerald business went into Zip2. I've calculated that with interest and growth, that money became about $50 million of my current wealth. What are you doing about that? I'm donating $50 million to mining safety organizations. Not just to my foundation, but to groups that have been working on this issue for years. I want to return that money to the cause that my teenage mistake took it from. There's been an interesting response to your confession on social media. The hashtag Joseph Mokena has been shared millions of times. People are sharing stories about their own family members who died in workplace accidents. What do you make of that? I think David was right when he said that secrets are like poison. When you keep them, they hurt everyone. But when you tell the truth, sometimes healing can begin. What would you say to young people who might be facing ethical dilemmas in their own lives? Elon looked directly into the camera. I would say don't make the mistake I made. Don't think you can build something good on a foundation of lies. The truth always comes out eventually, and the longer you wait to tell it, the more people get hurt. Justine's apartment. That same evening, Justine watched the interview with her children. Her phone had been ringing all day, publishers wanting her to write a book about her marriage to Elon, movie producers wanting to buy the rights to their story. She had said no to all of them. Mom, Vivian said, people are calling you a hero for speaking out. I'm not a hero. I'm just a woman who got tired of carrying someone else's secret. But you changed everything. Dad is finally free. David got his answers. Mining families around the world are getting help. Your father changed everything. I just gave him the push he needed. Griffin looked up from his laptop. Mom, look at this. Tesla's stock is starting to recover, and SpaceX just announced 3 new launch contracts. Really? Yeah, I think people respect Dad for telling the truth, even if they're shocked by what he did. Saxon was reading news articles on his phone. It says here that mining safety groups have received more donations in the past 2 weeks than in the previous 5 years combined. That's wonderful. Kai was watching YouTube videos about the foundation. Look at this, Mom. David did a video tour of his father's old mine. He's showing people exactly what went wrong and how to fix it. Damien, now 22, was the most thoughtful of the brothers. Mom, do you think Dad will be happier now? I think your father has a chance to be happy for the first time since he was 16 years old. What about you? Are you happy? Justine thought about that question. For 20 years, she had carried the weight of Elon's secret. It had destroyed their marriage. It had hurt their children. It had poisoned every relationship in their family. But now the secret was out. The truth was in the open. And something beautiful was growing from something terrible. Yes, she said finally. I think I am happy, for the first time in a very long time. Zambia mining site. 1 month later. 1 month later. David Mokena sat in his wheelchair at the entrance to his father's old mine. It had been closed for years, but today it was busy with activity. Engineers from Tesla were installing new safety equipment, training local workers on emergency procedures, setting up communication systems so miners could call for help instantly if something went wrong. Elon stood beside David, watching the work. Your father would be proud, Elon said. He would be proud of both of us, David replied. You for finally telling the truth, me for choosing forgiveness over revenge. I still can't believe you forgave me. My father taught me something before he died. He said that hate is like carrying a hot coal. It burns the person holding it more than the person it's thrown at. He was wise. He was. And he believed in redemption. He believed people could change. They watched as workers tested the new emergency systems. Bright lights, loud sirens, radio communication that could reach the surface instantly. This won't bring back the 12 men who died, David said. But it might save the next 12. That's all we can do. Try to make sure it doesn't happen again. A young miner approached them. He was about the same age Elon had been during the original accident. Mr. Mokena, the young man said, my father worked with your father. He died in this mine too. Thank you for not letting his death be forgotten. David shook the young man's hand. What's your name? Samuel. Samuel Ndaba. Samuel, would you like to help us with the foundation? We need people who understand mining. People who care about safety. I would be honored. As the day ended, Elon and David sat together watching the sunset over the African landscape. You know what's strange? Elon said. What? I spent 26 years running from this place, from this memory. But being here now, working to fix what went wrong, it feels like coming home. Maybe that's because you're finally doing what my father asked you to do. Using my life to help people instead of hurt them? Exactly. David, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you think he would forgive me? Your father? If he could see what we're doing now? David looked at Elon with his father's kind eyes. I think he already did, 26 years ago, when he asked you to make that promise. As they prepared to leave the mine, Elon realized something that had taken him most of his life to understand. Redemption wasn't about being perfect. It wasn't about never making mistakes. It was about having the courage to face your mistakes and spend your life trying to make them right. For the first time since he was 16 years old, Elon Musk felt truly free. And in that freedom, he found something he had been searching for his entire adult life. 1 year later, Tesla Gigafactory, Austin, Texas. The factory floor hummed with activity. Workers built electric cars that would help save the planet, the same cars that had started as Elon's way of keeping a promise to a dying man. But today was different. Today they were building something special. David Mokena rolled his wheelchair through the factory wearing a huge smile. Next to him walked a tall man with dark skin and bright eyes. His name was Samuel Ndaba, the young miner from Zambia who had joined the foundation. But Samuel wasn't in a wheelchair anymore. It still feels like magic, Samuel said, taking careful steps with his new robotic legs. It's not magic, David laughed. It's science, and a lot of hard work. They were heading to the Neuralink lab, a special part of the Tesla factory where Elon's brain computer company was based. For the past year, David had been working with Neuralink engineers on something incredible, a brain chip that could help paralyzed people walk again. The Neuralink lab, Dr. Sarah Kim, the lead Neuralink engineer, was waiting for them. She held a small device no bigger than a coin. David, are you ready for this? She asked. David nodded. He had been paralyzed for 27 years. But today that might change. The surgery had happened 3 months ago. Tiny wires from the brain chip connected to sensors in David's legs. For weeks he had been training his brain to control robotic leg braces. Remember, Dr. Kim said, think about standing up. Don't think about the technology. Just think about standing. David closed his eyes. He thought about his father, about Joseph Mokena, who had worked so hard in the mines to feed his family. This is for you, Dad, he whispered. Then something amazing happened. David's legs began to move. Slowly, carefully, he stood up from his wheelchair. For the first time in 27 years, David Mokena was standing on his own feet. Tears ran down his face. Samuel cheered and clapped. Dr. Kim was crying too. Now, David said with a shaky voice, let's try walking. Step by step, David walked across the lab. His movements were careful and slow, but they were his own. The brain chip read his thoughts and told the robotic braces how to move. After 20 steps, he sat back down in his wheelchair. But the smile on his face could have lit up the whole factory. How do you feel? Dr. Kim asked. Like my father is watching me, David said, and he's proud. That afternoon press conference. The world watched as David demonstrated his new ability to walk. News cameras captured every step. Reporters asked dozens of questions. But the most important moment came when Elon joined David on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, Elon said, 1 year ago I told you about a promise I made to a dying man. Joseph Mokena asked me to use my life to help people. Today his son is walking because of technology we built together. David stood up again and took a few steps toward the microphone. My father died in a mine accident 27 years ago, he said. For most of my life I was angry about that, but anger never helped anyone walk. He looked at Elon with grateful eyes. Forgiveness and partnership did. A reporter raised her hand. David, how has your relationship with Elon changed over the past year? Elon is like a brother to me now. We both lost something in that mine. He lost his innocence. I lost my legs. But we found something too. We found each other. What's next for the Joseph Mokena Foundation? Elon stepped forward. We've now installed safety equipment in over 200 mines across Africa. Mining deaths are down 60% in areas where we work, but we're not stopping there. What do you mean? We're expanding to Asia and South America. Wherever workers are in danger, we want to help. And we're using Neuralink technology to help injured miners like David regain mobility. David added, we've also started the Joseph Mokena Scholarship Program. We're sending the children of miners to college, breaking the cycle of poverty that forces people to work in dangerous conditions. How many scholarships? 1,000 students this year, 10,000 next year. We want to give young people better choices than their parents had. That evening, family dinner in Los Angeles. Justine's apartment was full of laughter for the first time in years. All 5 of her sons were there for dinner. Even Elon had come. They watched the news coverage of David's demonstration. Everyone was amazed by what they had seen. Dad, Griffin said, seeing David walk today, it was incredible. It really was, Elon agreed. But the most incredible thing is what he taught me about forgiveness. Vivian looked at her father. You seem different now. Happier. I am happier. For the first time since I was 16, I'm not carrying a secret that's too heavy for one person to carry. Do you miss the old days? Kai asked. When everyone thought you were perfect? Elon laughed. I was never perfect. People just didn't know my mistakes yet. But now they do, and the world hasn't ended. In fact, some things are better. Like what? Saxon asked. Like Tesla's mission is clearer now. We're not just building cars. We're showing that companies can do business the right way, putting people before profits. And SpaceX? Damien wondered. SpaceX is stronger too. When your mission is bigger than yourself, people believe in it more. We're not just going to Mars for adventure, we're going to secure humanity's future. Justine watched her ex-husband talking with their children. For the first time in decades, Elon looked relaxed. Free. Elon. She said, I have something to tell you. Everyone looked at her. Publishers have been calling me for months. They want me to write a book about our marriage, about the secret, about everything that happened. Are you going to do it? Elon asked. I already did, Justine smiled. But it's not what they expected. What do you mean? It's not a tell-all book about your mistakes. It's a book about redemption, about how people can change, about how telling the truth can set everyone free. Elon was quiet for a moment. What's it called? The Promise. It's about the promise you made to Joseph Mokena, and how keeping that promise changed the world. When does it come out? Next month. All the profits are going to the foundation. Elon reached across the table and took Justine's hand. Thank you for protecting the secret when I needed protection, and for revealing it when it was time for truth. 6 months later, Johannesburg, South Africa, the Joseph Mokena Memorial Hospital opened on a sunny day in Johannesburg. It was built specifically for treating injured miners. The best medical equipment in Africa, free treatment for all mining workers. David cut the ribbon with Elon beside him. Hundreds of people cheered. Many of them were families of miners who had died in accidents over the years. An old woman approached David after the ceremony. She was crying. "My son died in a mine 10 years ago," she said. "The company said it was his fault. They paid us nothing, but your foundation helped us get justice. We finally got compensation for his death." David hugged the woman. "What was your son's name?" "Michael. Michael Sabanda. We have a room in the hospital named after him. Room 12. The same number as the 12 men who died with my father." The woman cried harder. But they were tears of gratitude, not sadness. Later that day, David and Elon visited the original mine site one more time. It was now a training center where miners learned safety procedures. They stood at a memorial wall with the names of all 12 men who had died in the 1995 accident. "Do you think we've kept the promise?" Elon asked. "Look around," David said. "Safer mines, better hospitals, kids going to college instead of working underground, technology that helps paralyzed people walk." "That's not what I asked." David smiled. "Yes, Elon. I think we've kept the promise. My father would be proud of both of us." They stood in silence for a while, reading the names on the wall. Finally, Elon spoke. "David, can I ask you something I've wondered about for a year?" "What?" "Why did you really forgive me? After everything I did, everything I helped cover up, why didn't you want revenge?" David thought for a long moment. "Because my father taught me something important before he died. He said that carrying hate is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness isn't about letting you off the hook. It's about freeing yourself to do something better." "And what's the something better?" "This." David gestured to the training center, the memorial wall, the mine that was now safe. Turning tragedy into hope, turning pain into purpose. "I wish I had learned that lesson when I was 16. You learned it when you were ready to learn it. That's all any of us can do." As the sun set over the African landscape, David Mokana and Elon Musk stood together as friends. Two men who had been connected by tragedy but transformed by truth. The secret that had poisoned lives for 27 years was finally gone. In its place was something beautiful, something that honored the memory of 12 miners who had died too young. And somewhere in the growing darkness, if you listened carefully, you might hear the voice of Joseph Mokena, telling his son and the scared teenager he had once forgiven, "Well done. You kept your promise." Present day, Los Angeles Times newsroom. Sarah Chen finished typing the last sentence of her article. It had taken her 18 months to tell the complete story. From Justine's tears in her apartment to David's first steps with robotic legs. She read the headline one more time. "The secret that changed everything. How a mining tragedy became a story of redemption." Tomorrow, the article would run on the front page. Millions of people would read it. But Sarah knew that wasn't the most important part. The most important part was that the truth had finally set everyone free. And sometimes, that's all the world really needs. The truth. Sometimes the people we think we know best are carrying burdens we can't imagine. Sometimes forgiveness can create miracles that revenge never could. And sometimes telling the truth, no matter how painful, is the only way to find real peace. We'd love to know where you're listening from. Drop a comment below and tell us your city or country. It's amazing to connect with viewers from all around the world. If this story moved you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this one. We share real tales of human courage, redemption, and hope every week. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Stories like this remind us that everyone deserves a second chance, and that spreading kindness and awareness can change lives, maybe even save them. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next story. Remember, the truth will always set you free.